What's good, everybody? Y'all know what the fuck
Things are
going on.
getting lower and lower.
Sun's getting pretty low, big guy.
I'm dead.
Sun's getting lower.
Ain't no way. You just slice me, you pussy.
Bro, you just got your shit jacked by a warlock, bro. Of course he sliced you like that.
Pussy slice me, boy.
Oh, damn. My damn device is dead. Now, that ain't right.
Pull up, bitch.
Now, that ain't right. Yeah,
I love how
man.
you can ask certain questions before you do a quest. Someone's like, "Hey, I need you to do this because it's scary." It's like, "Hey, why can't you do it?" And it's like, "Oh, yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing it." "Oh, okay. Well, what about your superiors?" "Oh, yeah, they said fuck that too." "Oh, okay. Well, that's everything. I'll get going now."
I reckon I'll start on it.
Ah,
Man, it says you must shit on 0%. That ain't right.
your lips, papa.
Shit ain't right.
Quit putting lipstick around my child.
Yo, first of all, I'm calling Peter and I'm calling CPS.
Facts.
That boy finna grow up like Dwayne Wade Jr. I'm gonna chill before they cancel me.
I ain't doing that, bro. I'm sitting right at the door.
I'm
That's
finna
all.
chill before they cancel you, boy. Like Dwayne Wade who?
Dwayne Wade's son, daughter.
Yo, hold up. I just turned you up. I'm gonna turn you back down. You talking great.
uh,
Hold up. Hold up.
Wild.
I'm going to snap. I am live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, motherfucking.
Okay.
I guess not Twitter no more. I was live on Twitter for the longest time, but they was like, hold up, bro. You ain't got premium access. You can't be tweeting live. So I was like, all
What
right.
you doing, bro? You ain't paid.
And I was like, man, fuck Elon Musk. He ain't getting my money. He better bring me some space net first.
Not SpaceNet. That's not what it's called. That's a new product.
Man, if he ain't got Skynet or SpaceNet, I don't want to hear about it. I guess we should see what the fuck this shit about.
Need Skynet everywhere.
Bro, Skynet already here, but the government got that shit. They don't need Elon Musk for that. They got that shit down already, man.
I ain't run no smoke yet.
Hey yo, when the fuck did PlayStation get ray tracing?
Oh, here I go. I hear him. I hear him coming.
That's really crazy.
Where is he? That's the last one I'm trying to get caught.
I think we'll do FPS because even resolution, even at 4K, I feel like the game ain't gonna look that good, you know.
Oh, someone.
yeah, no, it doesn't look exceptional. I don't think anything you can do will make it look exceptional.
Like, what's ray tracing gonna do for me? I didn't even know PS5 had ray tracing. That's crazy.
Pop! Get fucked, homie.
Dynamic range. You know, I got them 3D audio effects.
Optional, kill all the villagers. That ain't an option. These villagers gotta die, bro.
Y'all got to die. Y'all heard Tuss? Motherfuckers is dying.
Hey, could I be?
Adapt the triggers. No, turn them bitches off. I hate adaptive triggers.
I fucks with adaptive triggers.
It was cool until I played Spider-Man.
No way. That crossbow did so much damage.
And then oddly enough, after I played Spider-Man, I did the squat challenge on Final Fantasy Rebirth, and I was like, I will not use these ever again for this game. And I just kind of like made it a rule to just turn them off. That squat challenge, bro, I was... Ooh. I never beat it. Never will. Don't intend on it. I hope you do when you get there.
What is it you gotta do?
Squat.
Okay. Sounds descriptive.
Well, you squat. It's a squat challenge. You gotta squat more than the head gym coach. And the squats, you have to like do a button combination as with the top buttons like R1, R2, L1, F2. And there's like adaptive triggers. So like the higher you get, the more strenuous the squats are. So the triggers get harder to pull. He was so dumb. And it's a race, so you gotta beat him, and he's always beating you.
Sound like you got bullied, Sheriff.
Yeah, it's a skill issue. I don't care. Love Jules. Him and his fucking busted ass gym / fight camp. All them boys get beat up. You see the monks? Oh, hold up. What's going on here? Oh, look, the assassins is here. Oh, that's my crew, right? I gotta be part of them, boys. You going there looking for a barber. Ask them boys which one of them will take payment of Supercuts gift card. I'll see Paul Beckett. Mr. Benedict. Oh, that boy clashing. Oh, she just blocked that shit with her wristband, boy. Oh, and they sword clashing to set the tree on fire? What? Do what? Yeah, they said this game's like Assassin's Creed mixed with Dark Souls mixed with something else I can't remember, but basically it's not as punishing. So I'm about all that. I'm finna start snacking shit around, knocking shit around.
Motherfucking pot at? I'm about to scrape the pot. Oh my god.
I don't understand.
Where are we going? We looking for smoke. Hello? What's the talking, bud?
Get that 4 camera distance.
What happened, baby?
Dawn, dusk, or twilight. Oh, that's the difficulty.
Yeah, pick the middle one.
Yeah, I feel like the middle one's safe because I don't know which one's hard and which one's not.
Twilight's hard.
That's the hard?
Yeah.
Don't want that.
Centuries
Oh, this is still
ago,
gotta look good even with the
Japan
graphics.
was unified under the Tokugawa.
Prioritize
I feel like it
the
looks
first
fine.
person. I mean, it's fluid
Closed its
with the
doors to
FPS
those
prioritization.
For a time, the island
That's what I
nation
did too.
prospered.
I cannot play shit that's not 60 frames, bro.
Same. Yeah, I want.
And I might sound stingy or stuck up saying that, but dog, just after like playing on a 165 hertz monitor for the last 5 years, bro, I cannot.
The surface.
I noticed that shit.
Feudal lords known as daimyo were kept under strict surveillance. In public,
It just hurts.
they were loyal.
I feel like I'm moving slow. I feel like I'm missing stuff.
Coals of discontent
My eyes
were
are like-
slowly being fanned
It's like having your Sharingan on for no reason, you know? It's just strenuous for what?
deep in the mountains of Kurosu. Weapons were secretly forged in preparation for rebellion.
Where's this motherfucker that took
But
my
the
shit at?
Shogun's
That's
There
crazy.
you
forces
go.
got wind of the plan.
Fuck
This-
you,
And a
Bushido.
terrible
This
and
is that part of the.
bloody
Oh my
reprisals.
god, did y'all see that? They just threw that guy on an open fire on like some coals, boy. He just melted away. That's crazy. They will show that. Anyways, this is like the time period where like ninjas and samurai met pirates and fucking naval officers and commandants and shit like that.
The British and the Americans were coming in big time.
It's crazy because they was coming over there like, we finna conquer this land. And they was like, nah, you ain't.
On another type of weapon being forged in Kurosu.
The Mongolians did that shit already.
Warriors, known as the Veiled Edge.
What's up, guy?
Yeah, look, Sakai!
Subterfuge in the way of the sword. These nameless assassins.
Genghis Khan came through, fucking pillaged my whole town and raped every woman in the fucking vicinity. Please. Help us. And he's like, I'll help you, but I'm gonna use poison and subterfuge. And they're like, hold up, wait. Now that's disrespectful. You shouldn't do that. I was like, bro, you trying to get saved or not? Like, yeah, but not like that.
Formidable.
And
Together,
Lord Sakai is either like, okay, I save you like that anyways, and you're gonna appreciate it, or I don't save you like that, and you're gonna die. I wish it was more like a Choice Matters game in Ghost of Tsushima, because I would have let some of the ungrateful ass die, but they was talking to me for being a ninja.
Choice matter big time in this game, bro.
Yeah, I seen that in the videos. Oh, yep, character creation.
Now, one thing I can say is the Testament of Soul is one of the better things that they've implemented into this game. The Testament of Soul is
Oh, they got
really,
that
really
texture
fucking
here.
good.
Oh, yep, dreadlock.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
they
already know
be
it.
killing me with the fucking with the bowl cut dreadlocks. They be killing me with those.
Remember, most of those hairstyles have different adjustments where you can adjust the length, the highlight length, and then the bangs, the
see
bangs
additional
length,
controls.
all that shit. Yeah, you can change a bunch of stuff after you pick your hairstyle. Jesus.
So that's definitely the one. I feel like I gotta change that skin color.
Yeah.
What got them cuts? So it's like G-string or briefs. I think I'll take the briefs, and they're gonna be black. Hold up, bro. I didn't mean to make that 66666. That's crazy. But we'll keep it like that because that's the color I want it. Aged. Point aged.
No. No way.
Symmetrical.
Baby, you ready?
I type. Where the Sharingan at?
Peace.
Alright, Pimp Juice. Don't come back with no Zaza,
Have a good
bitch.
trip.
I'm going to Sanctuary right now.
He said I'm finna get them 3 for 40 right now, Kings.
3 for 40, baby.
Ooh, motherfucker. Motherfucker!
Forget.
Motherfucker me, motherfucker you.
Motherfucker! I just killed that big bitch, bro. Motherfucker was hard, bro.
Iris size. That boy got them red eyes like the demon boy.
My guy's got red highlights in his hair. I also have a very Western, very Japanese looking character. I got a top hat and a really nice like pretty cool coat and a lot of like more Eastern like gauntlets and boots and stuff.
So either bruh on drugs, bruh got tattoos on his eyeballs, bruh blind, or bruh's a reptilian. Dope me up, sir. Nah, give me the fucking scribbly eyeballs. Yep. Oh, teeth? Where the gold teeth at? Teeth paint. Where that yuck mouth at?
I feel like this guy's gonna be hard as fuck, dude.
Alright, well, he's got veneers.
Why am I fighting this motherfucker? Why am I fighting him?
How come my ears can't be symmetrical? That's kind of fucked up. Oh wait, there's more they didn't show me. Let's see.
You fuck now, bro. Ain't nobody better with a spear than me. Let's go. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, fuck it. Uh-huh. Hold that. Let me get it back. Hey, no! Ah!
They cut him apart. That's crazy.
You slip up one time, bro. It's all over.
You slip up once and it's over. They coming to get you.
Bro, they put a fucking okie doke on my ass out of this world.
Oh, it's fine.
It doesn't mean I'm like, oh yeah, that's me too.
But I really like the spear in this game, Sheriff. The spear is fucking great.
Can't do the red Irish. Gotta do the brown. Makeup. Is this where the tattoos go? Facial mark. Boom, boom. Ooh, shit. Oh! Oh, they got that fucking Midori E Honda, boy. On the face paint. I fuck with that.
Give me my fucking karma back, pussy.
Don't play about that karma, man. Come on, man.
Karma, so there's XP and there's karma.
Yeah.
You lose karma upon death, but the XP you don't. XP gives you a skill point and improves your player level. Karma gives you skill points and rare skill points. Watch, Sheriff, you gonna be obsessed with this shit, bro. Who knows? You might even play Neo afterwards. I got the Sacred White Horse. The bitch is fast, Sheriff. Let me tell you right now, boy, that bitch is bad.
Oh yeah, that's him, baby. Got that motherfucker off. All right, what the body looking like? This boy got to be tall. He don't look that tall, even though he the tallest he can be. What the fuck going on? Ripped. I'm talking big muscles. Big muscles.
Mercy. Look, I forgot. I got her this. It was in my closet. I forgot.
Oh, big
Remember?
Tekken, big Tekken. Got the T-Rex slash.
Yeah, and look what came in the mail.
Insufficient funds, bro. You capping. I ain't got insufficient funds. I got the most sufficient funds you ever
The
seen.
most sufficient. Big sufficiency. Oh, I can get body tats too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck
Well,
yeah.
I got this dress from Amazon. It's on my Prime record.
Boy, I'm finna get tatted.
Oh, and just a slight recommendation: do not worry about upgrading your equipment in the very beginning. Just sell it. Just sell everything. Put it on auto sell, and just sell everything that's not like good.
Okay.
Yeah, you can put on auto sell to make it to where you sell anything that's like basic. I mean, don't do it in the very beginning because you're gonna some of the basic shit you're gonna have is useful, but once you've been doing it for a little while, a lot of that basic shit you ain't gonna want nothing to do with.
Oh, very
Those
nice.
gloves. Oh, and give me those boots.
It's polyester.
Come on with it. What's going on here? Oh, there it is.
Sorry, babe.
I'm moving on. Okay.
Got this 70 right there.
Oh, you're good.
Do it first.
No, it don't bother me at all.
Big, boogie, butter. Oh, bro, on the knee is fucking gangster. But they don't like this. Oh, and his actual body tattoos too. That's fine. I'm over here fucking making my own tattoo. Big right arm shit. You know what's going on. That boy kind of yadded right now.
That's cool.
Hold on, what does it sound like?
Don't mess up. Don't mess up. Let's go. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Let's go.
Yep, I think that's it.
Don't mess up.
Oh shit. I gotta do it again before a chick? That's crazy. I mean, she kind of look bad already. Shit, what's going on here?
Yeah, I didn't really have to change too much with her.
She could be ripped too, cause she a ninja. We'll give her some body tats. I got this one. Charles, what happened? Accidentally hit DUI.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Don't mess up. Let's go. Don't mess up.
All right. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hairstyle was crazy. Got the Harley Quinn. They got the Elsa. They also got the alloy. We're just gonna leave it with that OG random or that OG default. She my Asian connection. For sure. As a swordsman's polishes blade, choose a blade sharpening origin. See the one with the musket. That one looks enticing. Rapid assassination. Wish I knew what that was.
Rapid assassination makes it to where, so if you sneak up on a person and you like jump and you kill one person, the other person that's right next to them, you'll be able to hit triangle and kill them too.
Speechcraft. Liar. What's the... Should I be a Chad and go unsharpened?
No, I went with killer. What's killer do again?
It gives you look like a katana, a big katana, and then a great sword, and then it gives you repel arrows and bullets, counter spark.
It's really just the abilities. As far as what it does for like your
Okay.
weapon mastery, that doesn't really matter. It's really just the abilities.
I think I'm gonna take breaker because being able to assassinate people rapidly, or that, or seducer. I'm gonna take the
Yeah,
breaker.
you can pick whichever one.
Maybe we got a
They're all
game.
good. It just gives you a little bit of a starting point.
There he go. There she go. We hanging out, huh? I gotta choose which one to play. Oh, duh, I'm clearly gonna use the one that's face
Follow me.
tattoos, why not? Got these hands for somebody, boy. Oh, okay.
What are you
Sword.
doing?
Select the spear, select paired swords, select the Odachi, select katana, select polearm. They got that bent staff, but what y'all know about that? They want me to go paired swords, but I like how this big ass sword looking over here though.
The great sword's really cool. It does a lot of health damage. Doesn't do as much key damage,
Still not done
but you
yet.
will drain your stamina a lot using it. You get to pick two. You always have two primary weapons.
Normal attack, square, advancing attack, L1, L square, charge attack.
It's best to go with something that suits you.
wants me to use a second weapon. Guess we can do the pair of swords. You want me to do that first?
That one, eh? Be sure you take some time to get a feel for it.
No.
Those kind of the same combo.
Hmm?
Kind of like the same combos for every weapon.
No, they're all extremely different.
I see there's like a little evade strike. Okay. Triangle. I'm gonna just select a little circle. Oh, you do triangle in the middle of a combo. About.
You're happy?
Continue on ahead.
Alright, let's go.
I got these wooden sticks, boy. I'm gonna do some damage. Sheath, unsheath. I'm coming through with like a sorry, I'm a boy, big shit on my shoulder from the knock
Training
your ass
or
out,
not,
man.
I won't pull my punches. Not bad.
I don't need to restore my health. You spit on me. Okay. That's kind of sluggish, but I fuck with it. I like how I pushed her out of the way. Hold on, fine. Uh-oh.
Right, let's rimba up, shall we?
Okay.
Let's see if I can get this spear.
Why is my there's a little bar up under my weapon. What is that?
Bar under your weapon. Be a little more descriptive.
It's shining gold. up under my
Oh,
weapon.
that's your blood catch. So after attacking, if you tap R1, you flick the blood off your weapon, and it restores your stamina.
Come on, what's up with you?
So tap square and then R1, and it'll fling the blood off the blade.
Shit! I don't know what the. Oh my god.
This way.
What did I just do to him? Oh, I think I broke his stance and gave him a critical hit. That's what happened.
I'm leaving too, though.
Don't
Head
dawdle.
to the bladesmith's location.
But I'm fine with you doing whatever you want.
Oh, that's good. What a nice feature. Build edge banner. Oh, okay. This is a bonfire.
We're here.
Hold on a second, chat.
Oh, Sheriff, I just realized my mic was muted. Did you hear what I was saying before?
Something about flicking blood.
Okay, so I was going through. Okay. Something about flicking blood. I heard all of it. You was talking
Heard
about
it all.
flicking blood.
Flicking blood off your swords. You're restoring your stamina. My stamina has been restored.
Oh man, put yours away. It's not. Yours are like the recon mine. 50 cows, they're on your butt. Oh, and it's suit on? No. 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 Kind of winding down. Zach and I hung out and we cooked out some Caesar salad wrapped outside for us. We were cool for a little bit. Now, he's been to me. So, just wandering around.
Yeah. Well, I gotta have a mind to order a pizza, but I'm like, nah, I probably shouldn't be a fat piece of shit. I'll eat the whole pizza. Does it got fast travel? Okay. Equipment. Special skills. Encyclopedia. Press square to do the grappling rope jump attack. Okay. Hold L2 to build power before unleashing more powerful shuriken attack. Okay. I'm gonna craft flammable items. I'll fuck with that. Fully recover health after a battle. Okay, that's really good. Pretty clutch to have. Okay. Alright. Oh, hell no.
Hey, Sheriff, I
Time
might
to
have to
begin.
go because now Ben wants to hang out. That motherfucker.
Cross swords and show me.
Oh, I forgot he was
all
gonna be in y'all side of the area. That's
I've been
I'll
trying to
get the
reach out to that
better of you
motherfucker for
this
like 3
time.
days to hang out with him.
Yeah, I just been
wants to
like,
hang out today, and I
I've
gotta
been
get up
messaging
early
him on
tomorrow.
Discord. He gonna leave me on red. That's cool.
Ooh, cutthroat.
Okay. I'll be there when his girlfriend break up with him.
When it's
Well played.
That's
I mean, he ain't wrong.
No.
He ain't wrong.
Bro, my boy turned fucking damn near suicidal when his bitch leave.
Let me go chat with Dylan. I might be back, I might not. Peace.
He bitch. Start beat my ass with that damn combo boy.
the wombo combo.
Getting beat up. Come on now. Stop playing with me. Oh shit, this is gonna be a perfect one. Come on now, come on now. Come here. Stop playing with me. That's it right there? Oh, I guess that was a perfect one, yeah. Panic enemies with counter sparks and then attacks. Then boost your next
I know your every move. You have to do better.
Ooh, yep, that stands for damn girl.
What am I doing?
Ooh, my god, I hate to do it to you, twin.
You've improved.
that to you. It's gotta be like that.
You did well.
It's crazy. She got the same swords I got.
Next, you will fight me. I will face the both of you.
Stay sharp. Now's our chance.
Yo, we jumped in the old lady, bro. That's crazy.
In the veiled edge, two are one. Show me how well you've been forged.
She started stabbing for real. Damn, hold up now. Oh, hold up now.
Working
Hold on,
together
twin.
is the only path to success. Oh, it looks like you're getting somewhere.
What's the matter? You're normally sharper than this.
Savor how it feels. What little work has won.
Oh shit. Oh god.
That's enough
Jump
training
attack. What a
for
win,
now.
boo.
I'm assigning you a new mission. The black ships from America are anchored off the coast at Yokohama. Sneak aboard and steal the secret message in Commodore Perry's possession. And if the opportunity arises, kill Perry. Understood? You dare question your master? Well, if you insist. The Shogunate has made a deal with the Americans. That is reason enough for us to strike. This is the day our clan has long prepared for, when we finally go to war with the Tokugawa. This is an order. Failure is not an option. Are you ready to head for the black ships?
What? I guess not just yet.
Finish your business. There's no time to lose.
That's weird.
You're happy with... Alright, let's go.
What's the meaning of this?
Are you ready?
What is the meaning of this?
Where are you up to?
Can't fight the chicken. That's understandable. That's boy. So they played me. I'm trying to figure out. That's crazy that bitch say it's ready to play, but it's not ready to play because it don't even, come on now. Y'all playing with my emotions.
You're happy? Alright, let's go.
Are you ready to?
Alright, well. I'm gonna let this
Finish
shit hang
your
out.
business. There's no time to
In the
lose.
meantime, we gonna watch some of the content. I know it seems kind of intuitive. Watching somebody play the game while watching somebody play the game. Give us something to look into, Wobby. See if we can do some research. I'm forced to stay here. Might as well make my time constructive. See about that.
When it comes to Team Ninja titles, understanding the finer details of the game will always give you an edge, and Rise of the Ronin is no exception. If your samurai adventure is just beginning, then you might want some tips and tricks for making the most out of it. We've got you covered. Before beginning the game proper, you'll be asked to choose an origin. There are 6 of them, and they all start you off very differently.
Hold on. Ah, hell.
In this Rise of the Ronin video, we're going to be talking about some things that can help you get off to a better start to the game. Rise of the Ronin is a pretty hard game to get into with an overload of information and tutorials at a high
War, swords, politics. That's Rise of the Ronin on the surface, but this upcoming PlayStation exclusive gets much deeper than that. Will it be the Assassin's Creed killer that you've been waiting for?
Nah, I'm looking for the...
Ever since playing and loving Sucker Punch's 2020 epic Ghost of Tsushima, I've been eagerly awaiting a reveal of a possible sequel to that game. Rise of the Ronin popped up on the PlayStation 4, with Japan itself sitting on the Pacific Ring of Japan, making it an isolated foreign land with peace, strong economic growth, a stable population, arts, culture, and a strict societal order. But all of that unity would be put to the test around a century into Tokugawa rule. With Japan itself sitting on the Pacific Ring of Fire, natural disasters would hit often.
Are you hitting little
One of
drums in
these
the
was
back?
the
Oh my
eruption of
God.
Mount Osama, one of 111 active volcanoes in Japan, which resulted in cold weather and famine in 1783. This famine resulted in unrest, followed by protests over food shortages and taxes. This led to a growing bitterness between the Tokugawa shogunate, which stretched into the 1800s. However, the shogunate were concerned about a new threat. Following the First Opium War, which ended in 1842 and resulted in the British Indian forces setting up colonies in China, the shogunate attempted to strengthen Japan against the possible threat of the West. A political doctrine of Sonojoy, which translates as "revere the emperor, expel the barbarians," called for imperial rule and was sought by many in an attempt to overthrow the shogunate. But the shogunate stood firm, and this pretty much leads us into the events of the game's prologue. Now, as already mentioned, there were pockets of people who wanted the shogunate overthrown. Conflict was brewing. Landowners, feudal lords known as daimyo, were being watched by the shogunate. They were under strict surveillance. They appeared to be loyal in public, but were scheming behind closed doors. Weapons were secretly being formed in preparation for rebellion against the shogunate. However, the shogunate found out about this scheming and took lethal action against the rebellion. One particular action was taken against the Kurosu clan, who had suffered heavy taxation and forced labor policies, which were forced upon it by the shogunate. Shogunate spies came in and killed all of the villagers and put a stop to any potential uprising. 2 children from the clan cowered behind a cart and could only watch as a woman was cut down in front of them. They were saved in the nick of time by an older woman called the Bladesmith, part of a clan of warriors from the Kurosu clan that go back generations called the Veiled Edge. She kills all the shogunate attackers and takes the 2 children to safety. Many years later, the protagonist and his blade twin had now been trained in the veiled arts. After their extensive training, they meet with the bladesmith one day in 1853, and she tells the pair that they were ready for their very first assignment. They were to infiltrate one of the Black Ships, the name used for the ships belonging to the United States Navy. They were to obtain a secret message that detailed a potential trade treaty between the US and Japan. Whilst on the ship, they were also to assassinate Commodore Matthew Perry, the man who was tasked by his government to convince the shogunate to open up their ports. He basically told the Japanese that America would destroy them. With the current shogun, Aoshi Tokugawa, too sick to carry out his duties, the shogunate were indecisive in how to handle the threat. They eventually allowed Perry and his fleet to land at Kurihama. Word was that, fully aware of the military might of the US, the shogunate felt that they had no other choice but to cooperate, and the treaty was set to be signed. Swimming to the ship, the Blade twins infiltrate and take out members of the US Navy. Making their way below deck, they enter Commodore Perry's office and discover the secret message. Now to assassinate the Commodore. Making their way back up on deck, the pair spot Perry looking out at Mount Fuji. They attempt to sneak up behind him, but this fails and a fight ensues. The Blade twins overpower him, but just as they are about to strike a killing blow, he is saved by a mysterious samurai named the Blue Demon.
Hold up. Spoilers, right?
Rise of the Ronin is finally here, but before playing, there are loads of settings you should change to activate hidden gameplay features, improve the graphics, and more. You don't want to miss any of these. The first setting is under the controls menu, and is to change your controller mapping to the hold to sprint option. By default, you sprint using circle, which is really weird in my opinion, but changing it to the hold to sprint option means you just run forwards and push in L3 to trigger sprinting. I find this a lot easier and much more comfortable too, as it's how every other game that I play works. Moving on, setting number 2 is an absolute must change, as the default option will completely ruin the audio experience for most of us playing. Go to a language and audio options, then down to audio output, and change this to 3D audio effects if you're using headphones, or surround if you are using a home theater system. Most games do automatically detect your audio device and set this accordingly, but Rise of the Ronin just seems to assume you're using TV speakers and defaults to stereo because of that. Therefore, if you are using headphones and don't change this, you won't get any real directional audio at all, and the audio experience takes a huge hit. If this setting has helped you out, please drop a like as well as consider subscribing to help me reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it, and as all my content is PlayStation focused, I'm sure you won't regret it. Anyway, the third setting is under game settings and is to enable the assassinate button under the HUD category. Now once an enemy has been stunned, there is a triangle button prompt in the lock-on marker which helps to ensure you don't get headphones. Audio 2 is an absolute in my opinion, sprint option, setting features, improve the graphics and more. You don't want to miss any of these. The first setting is under the controls menu and is to change your controller mapping to the hold to sprint option. By default, you sprint using circle, which is really weird in my opinion, but changing it to the hold to sprint option means you just run forwards and push in L3 to trigger sprinting. I find this a lot easier and much more comfortable too, as it's how every other game that I play works. Moving on, setting number 2 is an absolute must change, as the default option will completely ruin the audio experience for most of us playing. Go to a language and audio options, then down to audio output, and change this to 3D audio effects if you're using headphones, or surround if you're using a home theater system. Most games do automatically detect your audio device and set this accordingly, but Rise of the Ronin just seems to assume you're using TV speakers and defaults to stereo because of that. Therefore, if you are using headphones and don't change this, you won't get any real direction
for like competitive first-person
the
stuff.
audio experience takes a huge hit. If this setting has helped you out, please drop a like as well as consider subscribing.
It does add to the cinematic experience, but
subscribers.
ain't bad.
I'd really
A lot more
appreciate
better than
it,
mono.
and as all my content is PlayStation focused, I'm sure you won't regret it. Anyway, the third setting is under game settings and is to enable the assassinate button under the HUD category. Now once an enemy has been stunned, there is a triangle button prompt in the lock-on marker which helps to ensure you don't forget to press it, as without it, you might find yourself just continuing to slash away and wasting stamina instead of just assassinating them. I'm speaking from experience there. Setting number 4 is also under this HUD section and is to enable the damage to enemies option. This results in damage numbers being displayed each time you hit an enemy, which I find works quite well in an RPG like this. It arguably reduces the cinematic feeling a little though, so it is personal preference. If you do like it, you can turn it on for damage for yourself and to allies as well, but I find that to be a little excessive, so I've personally only kept it for enemies. Oh, and speaking of combat, let me know in the comments which blade sharpening origin you chose and I'll make sure to heart it. I went with the killer option, but would love to know your choice too, so get commented. Anyway, the fifth setting is back in the controls menu, is to reduce the hold time option. This adjusts how long you have to hold the button down to interact with things such as chests and banners, so bringing it down a bit can make the game feel a little snappier and faster paced. Experiment with it yourself, but I've personally found 2 to be the sweet spot. Moving further down this menu, you can find setting number 6, which is to enable auto collect items. This just means that instead of needing to hit a button to pick items up, the game will automatically do so for you when you're near them, ensuring you don't miss anything. The 7th setting is in the camera settings and is to increase both camera speed values. Personally, I find that the default of 5 is just a little slow, and increasing it to something like 7 makes the game feel a lot more responsive. That is ultimately just my own preference though, so do experiment with these values for yourself to find what works best for you. Also in these camera options is setting number 8, which is to increase the camera distance value. Again, this is sort of personal preference, so play around with it, but I've increased mine to the maximum value of 4 as it allows you to see so much more of your surroundings. This not only heightens your appreciation for the environment, but it also gives you an advantage in combat as you can see more enemies around you as well as see them sooner, thus giving you more time to react to their attacks. Now, moving over to the visuals tab, the 9th setting is to turn off the frame rate limit if you are using the graphics or ray tracing mode. This will result in frame rates higher than 30 FPS, though performance will be more variable as your maximum frame rate count is going to be higher, whilst the minimum remains the same. All that said, I personally recommend that you go with the 60 FPS performance mode anyway, as that's where you'll get the most fluid feeling experience, which I think is vital for a more gameplay focused game like this. So, assuming you are using the performance mode then, that takes us to setting number 10, which is to disable motion blur. When playing at frame rates of 60 and above, it is widely agreed that games tend to look better with it turned off, and that stands for Rise of the Ronin 2. Just bear in mind that it is sort of an accessibility
I turned on motion blur
feature to
anyways,
reduce
because that
motion
should be fucking on my
sickness for
CPU.
people, which is why it's on by default. Regardless of which graphics mode you choose though, you'll definitely want to turn off the 11 setting, which is chromatic aberration. This adds a weird rainbowy sort of lens effect to some parts of the screen, and I personally don't think it looks good at all. You may also want to experiment with the options for depth of field, vignetting, and noise, as they are all on by default. However, I do find that these stylistic looks all work well for the setting of Rise of the Ronin, and noise specifically is quite useful at making flatter textures appear as though they are more detailed. Speaking of detail, if you want to hear more of it in your game's audio, you might be interested in PlayStation's Pulse Elite headset, and you can see my full honest review and guide of it by clicking the video on screen now. Also, please drop a like if any of these settings helped you, as well as subscribe to help me reach that goal of 100,000. I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, so that was pretty solid.
This is a list of 50 things I wish I knew sooner about Rise of the Ronin, ranging from little beginner tricks to optimize the way you play, through to a crazy combat method for experts that takes out large groups of enemies in just 10 seconds or less. Character creation. Many modern games have deep character creation tools where people can make cool or goofy looking custom characters, and the Rise of the Ronin is one of those. Now typically, if you'd want to copy a look that someone else made, you'd have to go in the game and just do it all yourself manually, and it would take a while. But in this, if you go to the options tab during character creation, you can generate a unique code that can be shared with friends to copy your custom characters. Just go to the input code tab here in the options and load a copy. Now once your characters are created, the game asks what blade sharpening origin you'd like to choose, and you'll notice that the first 4 origins come with a free special skill, but you're only told the names of each skill, leaving you with only a vague kind of idea of what they might be. So let me quickly explain and then tell you which I think is the best for you to choose. Killer Origin says when you deflect a bullet or an arrow, it gets sent back and it deals extra damage. Breaker Origin allows you to assassinate enemies back to back. Seducer Origin has Speechcraft Liar, which lets you lie in dialogue with NPCs and leaves enemies panicked for longer. And Sapper Origin has Refill Medicine Pills, which brings your max healing up from 3 to 4 items. So which one's the best, right? Well, I would say being able to assassinate multiple enemies in succession is super useful. I would choose Breaker. Now
Yeah, I learned about
the start
that.
of the game.
Once
Once you first load in, you might decide that you want the smoothest experience while playing. To do that, I'd exit to the main menu and change your graphics mode in visual settings to prioritize FPS. The game is still gorgeous while you're doing that, but if you want the extra graphics, you can prioritize ray tracing or graphics instead. Now, right off the bat, they're going to have you try out a few different weapon types, and you might find that you really don't like your Origin's preferred weapon class, but don't worry about that, because you can change your blade sharpening origin before moving on if you so desire. The game also has online features, so naturally, you'd think that if your internet disconnects, the game would disconnect, but that's not the case. As you can see, when my LAN cable lost signal for a few seconds here, it didn't actually kick me out of the game, which was really cool to see. For our next tip, when resting at a veiled edge, you replenish your usable inventory, like healing items, but it comes at a cost because enemies in the area will respawn. However, if you kill an enemy leader and then you rest at a veiled edge, the nearby enemies won't respawn. You can differentiate between the leader and just follower enemy types by analyzing the symbols above their head. Leader looks like this, it's a larger symbol, while followers just have an individual single band in the middle. For our next tip, you might be a little light on healing supplies since you're playing your first real mission here. So before entering the Commodore's cabin during that first boat mission, enter the room to the right and assassinate this soldier, and you can loot this chest for some extra supplies. Enemies will also use their own martial skills, signified by a red glow while attacking, and these skills tend to allow the enemy to land critical strikes which deal massive damage and they'll stun. That means the best approach early on is to just dodge out of the way, but if you want to counter-spark, make sure you're doing it as the red
what
attack
fucking ASI
flashes.
do you use?
Moving on to the start of the game towards the early game, when you've completed the prologue, you'll arrive in Yokohama. Now, if you turn around when that happens and you look
what kind of
behind you,
isotope you use,
you'll
bitch?
be able to collect these resources. Now, speaking of resources, the standard way for collecting requires you to press R1, and this isn't necessarily annoying.
But like, how do you get it
wouldn't
to
you
play
rather just
into
run
Discord?
over those materials to
Like
collect
the real
them?
question.
That's exactly what I've
into
done, and it feels
Discord?
much better.
Yeah.
And to do
Like,
this,
while
all
you're
you've got to do
streaming.
is go to Settings,
Yeah,
Controls,
plug it into your
Control
computer.
Assist, and turn Auto Collect items from
think-
off to on.
I
Even though we
think
just turned Auto Collect on,
I
you
can
cannot
find
Auto
out
Collect
for
from
you.
animals, so you
And
instead
that'd be
have to
fire.
run up to them and hit R1
'Cause,
to
my
collect
buddy
those
just got
materials,
Ableton,
and this
he's
is
trying
done
to figure it
easiest
out.
with a horse, and you get it very early in
And,
the which
everything I
good.
see
So in the
online is like, oh,
Honmoku
you need
area,
a
clear
virtual
this public order,
like
and then
cable,
walk up
but
to
that's
this
not the
horse
case.
and collect
To be
its
honest, you
flute.
should be able
Equip
to
it to your
just stream it
loadout
directly
with
into the
your equipment
different
inventory, and
Casio.
you'll be all set. Now this is especially good news because running around the map manually can
I'll
get
let
tiring,
you
right?
know
And
in a
now you have a
second.
horse, so
Okay,
let's
no
put
worries,
the
bro.
horse to
We'll
work.
just
Your
swarm
horse is
shit.
able to
I'm
auto
gonna hop into the core. Just send me a screenshot or
via
something.
dirt paths if you do the following. You
I was
just
just
need to open
curious.
the map, hover over the
bro.
destination you want to go to, and hit L2, and that will set the auto-run destination.
Hey, when you
Another way to
playing some
quickly
of
get
this
around
shit
is by
again?
teleporting to
Me?
veiled edges. You can
Either
teleport
you.
to any captured veiled
Probably
edge,
not.
even when
Honestly,
you're not resting
no sooner
at
than
another
later.
veiled edge.
I fuck with
So
that
you
game
just
more heavy.
teleport wherever,
I just got
whenever,
this
which
Rise
is
of the Ronin
really
though, so I'm
handy.
just like
For managing your key levels,
geeking out
or
on
spending
videos
your
before.
stamina, you can
I thought
get
it was ready to
key
play. I
back
started to
by
play it,
blade
and then
flushing.
it was
And what
like,
this
yeah, we're
means is
still
as you
downloading.
attack, your blades
But-
are going to get covered in blood.
So,
And you can see how
I'm
much
just like
blood is
watching
on your
videos,
blade
killing time till
via
that bit
this
start
yellow
up.
bar on top of
Or
your
it's ready
weapon
to start.
icon. But if you press R1 immediately after an attack, it'll wipe the blood clean and grant you key depending on how full the yellow bar was when it was used. Now also going back to loadouts for a second here, you should put both your medicinal pills and healing elixirs in your quick selects. Medicinal pills are looted from enemies and elixirs are crafted, and make sure that you use your crafted ones first as those are easier to replace. You can also head over to an apothecary trader to craft these elixirs. For our next tip, when you first discover an area, you'll
Think about
notice there
another
aren't
20,000
many
coin,
icons
I'll
on
be
the map for
maxed out.
collectibles or
Except for the
activities.
animal power.
This is because
Bro,
you
I
have
just
a low
was on beach
bond
a
level
minute
in that
ago
specific
with,
area. You can raise it by
Yasuo,
discovering veiled edges and completing
and I had the
activities in
perfect
the area,
build.
and you'll slowly start to see
I had
more
like
and more
19
collectibles
plus
appear.
thousand
Now, for
damage.
bonus tip, if you
Couldn't
hit
kill the
triangle
motherfucking
while
boss because
hovered
I don't have
over an
enough single
area,
target
you can see a
damage.
full list
So
of collectibles and your progress, which can be a handy kind of reference for
depressing.
you. Now, on the topic of the map, there's
we
one
got, like,
type of mission that
we
doesn't
beat
appear
Aatrox
on the
the
map
first
no matter
time,
what
then
you
the
do.
second
They
time
just
came
appear
around, we had
randomly
them,
in the
like,
world, and they're called chance
3/4 of the way
encounters.
down, and
You
then we
might end up
died.
finding strong enemies in those, or even have an encounter where you follow and pet a nice little doggo.
The worst
and
part
you
is
get
I
a
was the
reward.
last one
And it's worth
standing and I
doing these
couldn't
as well,
clutch it.
because completing them will
That always
increase your
feels-
bonds
That's the
level
worst.
of the area. For our next tip,
That always
item
feels
rarity
real
has
bad.
a range, and the higher rarity, the more special effects each item will have. These effects can range from extra damage to extra key generation to defensive effects and much more.
Like,
There's
you
a
know, if I
rarity
could hear
tier
them, they'd
called
be like, oh, this
Exquisite that's
motherfucker.
almost guaranteed to have a set bonus
innocent
special
shit.
effect. To activate the set bonus, in most cases, you've got to wear at least 2 pieces with the
I
set
think
bonus to
Alawi's the
activate
way
that
to
part of
go,
the effect,
maybe.
and equipping more of the same set bonuses.
That was
will
really
unlock
good. You just
more
gotta get that
effects. Now, for
duration.
bonus tip, you'll be able to buy
I
bond
got it.
jewels at
Got it
black
almost maxed
marketeers, which can be used at blacksmiths to transfer special effects from item to item. So that can be handy for when you're really trying to customize things. But you might be wondering, where do we find these exquisite tier items? In the Honmoku area, head over to
I still
this
haven't
symbol
tried,
on the map signifying a fugitive mission and take out this tough enemy.
Tried a couple
Then
people
you'll
yet,
find
actually.
this chest here, and that has your first exquisite
let me try
item
some more
inside.
people,
You
get some
also
more
might be
weapons,
wondering how
see
you
what
can gain skill points, and it's
do
pretty
ribbon.
simple. You just collect karma from completing activities and then you turn it in. And you can see your karma progress in the top right when you gain or lose it.
Bro, I
And
want Island Crew restaurant so
you can
bad,
lose
bro.
karma if you die to an enemy while carrying unspent karma. What will happen is after dying, a vendetta
I
is
love
started
some
with the
Island
last
Crew,
enemy
bro.
that you killed,
Pick
and
me
when
up
you
some.
return to fight them a second
No
time,
way,
they'll
bro.
gain
Get some
more
of me.
karma.
Pick me
Then
up,
just
bro.
damage them enough and you'll
me up a
recover
little
it,
bit.
and now you have it back. You can convert your karma into skill
I'd
points
pay
by
good money.
You know, I want
interacting
that
with
jerk
a
chicken
veiled
combo
edge.
with
But
the
wait,
plantains
there's
and the
another way
rice.
to get skill points as
Yeah,
well,
same.
and these are shrines located all over the map. Typically one in
Except I
each
want the
area.
French fries.
Here's the location for the first
Rice
one
and
in
plantain.
Honmoku as an example.
Plantain.
You just gotta continue following
give
my
me the
path down here, and then go up to the
motherfucking
shrine and
goddamn
interact for your free
motherfucking
skill
side
point.
of
You'll
fucking
also find a
island
storehouse
juice.
early in your game that requires a rusty key to
Let me get
open the
that
door,
island
and the game then
juice.
tells you that you can find the key within the area. Now you won't be able to find the key on the ground in some random place nearby, so don't just run around aimlessly here. Instead, usually these doors are near a public order, so head over to the nearest one and take out the leader, and you'll find a rusty key on their body that you can use at the storehouse for some high tier loot. Now sometimes you'll come across these buildings where enemies are sitting idle inside. The best approach is to enter through the window on the roofs, where you can drop down and surprise attack or assassinate enemies from above. But before you do this, check to see if there's a window on the other side, because typically you'll find some loot on the floor here that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. Now I absolutely love this grappling rope that they give you. At a base level, you can completely change the dynamics of fights by grappling to enemies or bringing them to you. there is one slight issue with that though, and that's that you won't be able to grapple to enemies if you haven't locked onto them already. So you'll just need to make sure that you lock on and then jump and press R2 to grapple to them, or to pull an enemy to you, you just press R2 without jumping. Now I'm kind of a numbers guy, right? I'm a bit of a nerd, and I like seeing those numbers grow.
I'm a bit of a nerd.
So you can turn those damage numbers on by going going to System Settings, Game Settings, HUD, Damage to enemies off to on, and also damage to self off to on as well. Now, speaking of damage, you don't take too much fall damage when falling from a height, and you take even less when riding a horse, but beware, because you might be thrown off it when you land. And the unfortunate thing is you do take damage, but so long as you're out of combat, you will regen with this skill. For our next tip, I often forget controls and will button mash when playing a new game a little bit. And at first, I was fumbling my assassinations a little because I'd pressed the wrong button completely. But now, with this setting turned on in the settings, it shows triangle whenever I have an assassination opening. And to get it, you just gotta go to HUD settings and then turn critical hit assassinate button from off to on. Now, as we discussed earlier, hitting bond level 3 in an area will show all the collectibles in that area. And if you collect everything, you'll be rewarded with unique rewards for the area. And we are going to get more into our home base later, but our longhouse will also receive rewards when areas are completed. Now, on the selling items side of things, it doesn't really yield much coin, especially for early gear. So what I recommend you do is disassemble unwanted items for materials at the blacksmith rather than selling. And you can change that when we get past Yokohama Bridge, which we'll move on to in just a second here. But for early games, disassemble.
What you doing, Zeki Poo?
Now, you'll also quickly notice that it's a pain to select each item when selling.
Come on, that swarm right now, Zeddy.
You can either hold square
Playing the
and
Ronin,
hold
way of the
right
Ronin.
to select items quickly.
Oh, I'm waiting
Another
for the
option is to
download.
hit
I'm
the
at
big
fucking
touchpad
55
button
out
and
of
select
95
all
gigabyte.
items. The game won't select items
be
that
here
are
for a
locked,
minute.
though, and any items become locked after you equip them, and they stay locked when unequipped.
started playing
So
with
to
Ronin,
unlock them, you've got to go to
Riven.
options once again
Pretty good,
and
honestly.
unlock the item. Another quick tip here that eases this is to go into settings, game settings, basic settings, and turn auto disassemble on.
fucking
Selecting
good.
superior as the rarity, it will auto disassemble, and this will decrease your inventory bloat significantly, and it will get you materials really fast. Now, sometimes you'll give money to beggars, and well, sometimes they'll give you rewards as well. So that's another option you can make use
Oh,
of.
shit.
Other times, though, they might start attacking you if they see you have a bunch of money to offer, so be careful out there. So now we'll move on to focusing on content
Oh,
beyond
bro,
the
they got them
Yokohama
fucking
Bridge.
demon
This tells us
beggars.
that if you only
Oh,
want
shit.
content for the very beginning of the game, then now's your time to drop a like on the video, consider subscribing, and tap out for
Look
the
at
next
that
one.
video.
But for those of you that want some of the more expert level tips here, let's talk about Yokohama Bridge onwards. So we need to have a conversation about collectible cats. So you find your first one just here in the Honmoku area on top of the building. It's very
Honmoku.
easy to capture this first little guy, but finding them becomes increasingly difficult as you progress. Cats like this one in the
More.
Pleasure District react to sound more so than others, so if you're running while approaching them, it's going to run away. And this cat here also gets scared easily and runs away when approached. Now, it's not the end of the world when this happens. All you need to do is run away from the area and come back like I have done in the gameplay, and the cat will reappear. But this time, approach a bit more carefully, and you'll then be able to pet the cat. Now, as you play further into the game, you'll realize that there are places you can't reach, including a cat on top of the building. There's no way to grapple up, and grappling to this floating thing does not launch you far enough to get to the cat. Don't waste a bunch of time trying to get to it, and instead just come back to this area later in the game and you'll have a way to acquire the cat then. Now, for a bonus tip, you can purchase rewards that unlock as you find more and more
Way to
cats
be
at
spoiler
this
free.
vendor in the Pleasure District. If you don't have access to them, don't worry, just keep
In the
playing,
Pleasure
and they will
District.
eventually appear. Now, similar to cats, you'll find more vendors across the world that have unlockable rewards tied to collectibles and activity completions, such as a trader based on fugitive kills. You've just got to complete the map 100% and you'll be able to purchase whatever you want from those traders. Now, your actions and dialogue choices will have an impact on your bonds with people in the world. If your objective is to just schmooze all the characters in the game
I got
so
it,
that
though.
they like you, just agree with what they have to say, and as you can see, agreeing will boost your bond with those characters. For our next tip, as you progress through the story, you'll unlock the Longhouse in Yokohama. This brings a bunch of benefits to your character and adds ways to bond with other characters you've become friendly with. When you come home, there's a chance that a friend will be hanging out waiting for you, and you can then talk to them and offer them gifts to strengthen your bond. And you can see which gifts are beneficial to characters you're speaking to simply by looking for this symbol on the gifts. The great thing about the Longhouse area is that you can now travel back to the starting area, Honmoku, and finally do this fugitive that's only visible at night. You can either rest at the Longhouse or change time with the watch that your friend gives you right after interacting in the Longhouse. And for a bonus tip, whenever you're walking around after unlocking the Longhouse, you'll run into these cute little traveling doggos, and you can pet them to gain silver coins. But that's not all that they do, right? You can also send your own dog out on collection missions from the Longhouse for a price.
Look at that-
so
look at
you
that
can
good
be a little
boy.
bit more
Oh my
productive
God.
while you're playing the game. Now, you'll notice that you may not have access to some dialogue options, like a liar or a persuasive option, because these are unlocked via a skill point upgrade to the charm stats category. But additionally, every 2 points you put into a category will enhance your total respective strength or dexterity or charm or intellect. There are also chests in the game that are seemingly impossible to get to, just like that cat on the roof that I mentioned earlier, and that's because they require a glider. So don't consume all your time trying to figure out a way up there. Just wait until you unlock the glider and then you can start doing it. To unlock the glider, just focus on missions involving the inventor guy, and eventually he'll give you a camera and a glider. At the inventor, you'll be able to upgrade your glider and other tech items too after you find foreign books from around the world, which are usually found in chests. Now, sometimes you'll need to complete an activity before being allowed to upgrade certain tech, including one glider upgrade. This requires you to complete glider training, which can be found here on the map, and on your first completion at each tier, you'll receive loot, which includes the book needed to upgrade the glider at the 6,000 point threshold. Another thing to mention is you can repeat these activities actually also and earn secondary rewards on all subsequent completions. And also, by the way, if you're not a fan of how the glider controls, you can change it to invert the flight in the settings just here. Now, glider training isn't the only type of training you'll come across, and the rewards for each training type work identically to glider training, so there's firearms training, horsebow training, and more to find around the world. The most fun one is the dojo, where you can face off against characters you've bonded with to practice your fighting skills. For our next tip, there are missions for taking pictures out in the world, and sometimes those can be a little tricky getting right. When you take a picture, make sure that the crosshair has turned red, and that'll mean that you'll complete the objective, and if not, you'll have to find the right spot and framing for the photo, aiming for wherever the crosshair needs to go to turn red. The best thing to do is to stand exactly where the camera icon is on the map and pivot until you find the right spot to take the photo, but additionally, you can also hit triangle while hovering over the camera on the map to get a description of the required photograph. For our next tip, I'm a dumbass and I always forget character names, right? And their relation to the story and just how everything fits together. But what they've done here is they allow you to open related entries while in cutscenes, so you can read up on the lore of characters and locations to get you back up to speed in case you're as forgetful as I am. You can also gamble, which is unlocked by hanging out with Shinsaku from the anti-Shogunite faction. You basically bet on whether or not to die add up to an even or odd number. Now, I have nothing but this anecdotal evidence to go on here, but I bet on even about 15 times and I only won a couple of times, so be careful out there. The game might be rigged. Now, for a bonus tip, if you end up with a fat stack of tokens, you can trade them here for high value items, which can be sold for a high price at other traders. Now, if you're anything like me, you want all the loot you can get. So let's talk about this big chest locked inside this rundown building. There's a red barrel inside, and as we know by now from playing lots of video games, red barrels like to explode. However, we can't simply just swing at it or grapple or hit it with an arrow to make it blow up. Instead, we need something flammable. And so this is where our inventor friend comes in, and if we progress his story, there's a fire pipe, aka a flamethrower, that he gifts to us, and you can then take that back to the barrel and show that chest who's boss to get your loot. Okay, so I've avoided talking about combat styles for some time now in the video because I don't feel like they have as much of an impact until you start discovering more styles as you play. So to get into this in a bit more detail, enemies will have either a red symbol, gray symbol, or blue symbol above their heads while in combat, and that relates to the combat style that you're currently using and how effective they are against those enemies. It's really important as you get better at the game to change your combat style while fighting multiple enemies to get the most out of all of your strikes, and to do this, you have to first forge bonds with other characters to learn their styles, or defeat fugitives and steal their styles. To change which style you're using, hold R1 and move the right stick, and you'll see which style is most effective depending on the enemy you're currently locked onto. Now, when holding R1, you'll see that you only have 2 attacks on square and triangle, but when fighting with an ally, they have up to 4 of their own martial style attacks, and you can level up certain combat styles by strengthening bonds with other characters, so make sure to target those who have styles that fit your playstyle. Another tip is I often skip dialogue and then I immediately forget what I just skimmed through, but if you miss an important thing, you can see the conversation history by hitting square while actively inside the dialogue. For our next tip also, you can sneak attack with the glider. I love opening combat sequences with one of these moves, and it's actually really OP. Now, eventually, as you continue to play, you'll upgrade the glider to have a boost option, but something that's not immediately obvious at first is whether or not it glides further while boosting. So I've tested that for you, and it turns out that you actually travel roughly the same distance when not boosting versus boosting, and as far as I know, the only way to get additional distance is to close and then reopen your wings as you regenerate ki when you're not gliding. Now, at the start of the video, I mentioned a crazy combat technique, right? It involves the glider, and so we're going to perform the technique on this little group of enemies just here. They're going to be our test subjects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak attack from above, and with my rapid assassinations skill unlocked in the dexterity stat, I can repeatedly critical tacticals strike each enemy one after the other, and because the glider sneak attack is so OP, and the rapid assassinations mean that you can deal a bunch of damage for free, the fights that you use this technique on are barely gonna last even a handful of seconds. I almost feel bad for the enemies. So out of sympathy for those enemies, it would be amazing if you could hit the like button to cheer them up, and I'll see you soon in the next video.
Hell yeah. So, it's an hour and a half wait time on the motherfucking download.